Anyway, let's jump into it. 45 Senate Republicans voted to declare Trump's impeachment trial unconstitutional, all but guaranteeing his acquittal. I was wrong. I was asked by Media Winch last night if I thought that they would get enough Republican support to impeach him, and I said they would. Because the thing that I was operating off of was that their corporate backers had been pulling out on them. It really looked like Mitch McConnell... Are they? In our current political climate, are those 45 Senate Republicans voting to commit political suicide? I'm not exactly sure. The landscape we are in right now is just... Also, I was kind of gauging it off of their positioning a couple of weeks ago. It seems that Republicans have been backing off of the idea of impeaching him because of the floating of the notion of a third party that we're going to get to here in just a little bit. He's also apparently threatened multiple senators that he will support a primary challenge against them if they don't vote to acquit. Now, today's vote was Rand Paul forcing a vote on whether impeachment of a president who has left office is constitutional. So technically, it is possible that of these 45 senators, there are some that are going to vote for impeachment. That this is some kind of a cover vote that they're going to be able to say, well, I didn't think it was constitutional, but I did think they're going to try to straddle the fence on this, but I did think he incited a riot. And he should have been impeached. It's possible. I kind of doubt it. So it's almost certain that, and another thing was, there's a couple of senators that are retiring, Toomey being one of them. Toomey voted for impeachment, voting that impeachment is constitutional. He was one of the 5 Republicans. Toomey is not running for re-election. Portman in Ohio, I thought maybe he might vote for it because he's retiring. He's got no political consequences to it. Like, yes, please. I wish I liked the idea. Somebody on Twitter said that we could turn over Trump to The Hague. That way we could set the precedent that other presidents could be turned over to The Hague. And I'm like, kind of like that idea. We've got a few more. Henry Kissinger. I mean, because honestly, if we turn over Trump to The Hague and Henry Kissinger is not turned over to The Hague, they're like, kind of hard to make that argument. The Iran warrants. Yes, let's book him a trip over to Iran. I love that. It's you make a good point about the subscription service. But I mean, Amazon isn't going to host him. So where's he? I mean, somebody is going to host him, sure. It's Donald Trump. He's going to have to, like Parler is having a hard time right now. I believe they are still down. They got to find some hosting. So I don't know that it's, and ironically, net neutrality may come back to bite him in the ass. Fucking Greenland. Fucking, God. We finally heard from Trump last night. We're going to get to that here in just a second. The vote today came minutes after U.S. senators were sworn in as jurors in the trial when Kentucky Senator Rand Paul raised a point of order forcing the chamber to decide on the constitutionality of even holding a trial in the first place. The point of order failed, with 55 senators voting to kill it and 45 voting to uphold it. So almost certainly 55 senators, 55 votes for impeachment. They need 67. So falling short. Someone will do it somewhere, but there's going to be far more hoops to jump through. And not only that, like, okay, he's going to have to find some way to get it out to people. Like, Spotify isn't going to host that shit. Because even if you're hosting your own server and putting the content up, you got to have somebody to distribute it for you. Is Podbean going to work with them? One of the other shit. They work with white supremacists all the time. Not necessarily Podbean, but there's platforms out there, I'm sure. You're correct. I'm speaking out of turn. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Mitt Romney, Ben Sass, who I called it. I knew he was going to try to stake his 2024 reputation on impeachment. And Pat Toomey voted against Paul's motion. Mitch McConnell voted in favor of it. I thought Mitch McConnell was going to vote for impeachment. If anybody does pull the voted for this resolution, voted for impeachment, it's going to be Mitch McConnell. To try to show that he's still in charge of to try to show the corporate donors, hey, I'm still in charge of the GOP here. I voted for that's my way I can show my voters. I didn't think it was constitutional, but I'm going to vote for it here. One of those straddle the fence things. I'm interested to see, and with the way information is trickling out day by day, like we're going to talk about a couple other stories here, we may know more in 2 weeks that's going to make it far more politically untenable for these Republicans to vote against impeachment. I hope. And it may not be 2 weeks. Breaking news before we came on the stream. Patrick Leahy, who was set to preside over the trial in the Senate, has been hospitalized. I don't have an update. It was just breaking as I was getting prepared for the show. So who knows if that's going to delay the trial, and that could be a positive. We may know a lot more about this riot in a month or 2 or 3. I don't want to delay impeachment that long. But we absolutely could know more about the riot that makes it hard. I don't know if I'm not the Dems. I don't want to hang back and maybe expel a few people before we have this impeachment vote. I don't know. Is there a double jeopardy clause? This isn't a legal action, so I guess supposedly not. Charge him with some other. But I mean, if a violent insurrection doesn't make you vote for impeachment, what the fuck will? Once again, I lived through Republicans impeaching a president over a fucking blowjob. Lying about a blowjob. Lying to investigators. Which, I'm thinking about it earlier. Okay, so they impeached Clinton over lying. Trump lied. That was in the Mueller report. That was one of the things that we found out. So if that's the standard, lying to investigators, Trump did it like 20 times fucking worse. But that's just scratching the surface of his fucking crimes. All the right-wingers want to be like, oh, you just think Orange Man bad. Orange Man is bad. What the fuck wrong with you? Marco Rubio. Oh, I got in the DLs. That means in my downloads folder. I tried to copy it over.
It's called the whole impeachment trial itself stupid.
I'm fucking stoned. About this lying about an erection. Oh man, Chucky Schumer. It's a good thing for him that there is so much shit going on right now, because that didn't go as viral as I thought it would. Like, we were on to something else the next day. And then Bernie memes are still taking up pretty much all the oxygen in the room. All right, Marco Rubio on with Neil Cavuto.
Bad for the country. Senator Rubio with us right now. You still feel that way, Senator?
Lil Marco.
Yeah, more than ever. It's look, first of all, it's not even constitutional. It's logic tells you that, okay? The automatic consequence of impeachment and trial.
Logic tells you that. Logic tells you that. Marco, please reason me through this. How does logic tell us that impeachment is not constitutional?
If you're convicted, the automatic consequence of it is you're removed from office. That's the automatic consequence of this process.
He's lying. That's one of the consequences. There are numerous consequences. Losing your pension, losing your Secret Service detail, being barred from running for office. That's the main one. It is them playing to the stupidity of their fucking followers. That's enough. I do not want him to have presidential daily briefings, but he probably doesn't take them anyway. He doesn't read the shit they give him as it is. We've had story after story through all 4 years of the Trump administration that the motherfucker wouldn't read anything that they gave to him. So he's probably not taking the presidential daily briefing anyway. I don't know that Trump is smart enough to do any insider trading. Honest to God, if he's looking at the information, he is such a dumb fuck. He doesn't know what to do with that information. He doesn't know anything about trading. So that is the one that he does indeed need the money. Loeffler was just, she had no fucking personality. Broken ass fembot. That is also a term that you can apply to Little Marco.
Process. How can you put someone through a process where the automatic consequence of it is impossible? You can't remove Donald Trump from office.
Oh,
He's
shit.
not in office.
That's
the second
his,
is we've got all these
that's his argument
in this country. We've heard
that
all
is the
these months and
weakest
years about
sauce.
how the virus needs to be dealt with, and I agree. The economy's been hurt by it. I agree. National
But this is
security
why he's a
threats,
fucking
domination,
pussy.
all
That's
these things we should
he's
be
only going to
working
go on Fox
and instead
News.
We're going to spend from 1 o'clock till 7 or 8 p.m., 6 nights a week for as long as it takes on an impeachment trial. And they're going to tell you we can walk and chew gum. When they were doing the first impeachment trial a year ago, they wouldn't let us move nominations. They wouldn't let us move legislation. They said they didn't want the day distracted. So, that was their view of it then. The third is it stokes the fire. This is a country that's already deeply divided. Politics has become very emotional. People literally hate each other in this country over politics. And now on top of that fire, we're going to pour all of this gasoline and really get it going harder. And the last point I would make is it is pretty typical in the third world that after someone's out of office, they lose, they leave. The party that takes power then prosecutes them. It happens all over the world. And that's the precedent we're creating here now, that we're creating the precedent where we are going to have future political majorities in Congress pursuing the previous president, maybe even
There is not a doubt in my mind that if they had something that they thought they could pursue on Obama, they would in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, they certainly tried to pursue Hillary Clinton after she was no longer Secretary of State inside the Obama administration. Thank you, Marco, who I do believe sat on the Judiciary Committee for all those Benghazi hearings. Of course it's okay when they do it.
threatening that president while they're in office that they're going to impeach him after they leave if they don't do this or they don't do that. So there's a lot of reasons.
And seriously, the only way he gets away with this is the fact that the viewers of Fox News are stupid.
America.
And Neil Cavuto isn't going to call him on it.
Donald Trump's doing, though, Senator. Do you think that he provoked that crowd when he was saying these are the things that events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously?
Well, this is more pushback than I figured he'd give.
Patriots. That he
Donald Trump is a private citizen.
There should be some punishment. Do you think he should be punished for those remarks?
Yeah. So if someone makes those remarks, he's a private citizen. So he's now the reason why we have impeachment is the following: you can't charge a president. So you have to remove them from office, and then they're subject to criminal penalty. That's why Ford had to pardon Nixon, because after he resigned, he could have still been prosecuted. If the president did something,
well, let's charge him. I love it. Cool, I'm with it, Marco.
Then he should. The criminal justice system and the civil system is in place to pursue.
Do you believe
the
that
reason
these
why the
remarks
impeachment
were
process
6 months earlier, though, Senator? If they were 6 months earlier, and I understand what you're saying about the timeline here, and that now you're dealing with a former president, but that he had said the exact same thing and triggered a riot that happened on January 6th.
But just his argument is flat out false on its face.
Do you think that...
Well, logic tells you because the consequence... Well, that's not the only consequence, Marco.
On the basis of these facts...
And you know that. You know that.
At that point. But here's why that trial would be different than what's happening now.
Just his language,
that person
Senator,
is in
just
office.
his language.
No, it isn't.
His language was incendiary enough?
Well, I think that...
I don't want him to be a private citizen. I want him to be an incarcerated citizen.
What happened was a foreseeable consequence, not just of what he said, but all the events leading up to it. But here's the point. If he's president of the United States, you can't charge him criminally.
One stroke at a time.
You have to impeach him, remove him, and then you can charge him criminally. In this case, he is now a private citizen. And if he committed wrongdoing while he was president, then the criminal justice system can deal with that.
Oh, we're going to. We're going to.
It's vindictive. This is all about the left's demand for revenge. And I'm going to be frank. Some of the people out there in the political entertainment business, this is about ratings and about clicks, because this is another drama story that adds to the show. And I just think it's a terrible thing for the country. But they're going to put us through it because this is exactly what their base is demanding.
We're going to put you through it.
It could help as I was
because he's guilty as fuck, and it's justice.
It could help Donald Trump. It seems unlikely, and you know the read of votes among your colleagues far better than I.
That we won't hear from Mike Pence for about 2 years.
I'll run for office again.
He might write a book,
and
that'll drop like 6 months shy of a presidential announcement.
What? I'm sorry.
Run for president.
If he runs again? He's a private citizen. He has every right to run again. And this idea that we need to do this so we can disqualify him, it's arrogance. Who are we here in the Senate or in those guys over in the House? Who are we to tell the American people, here's who you can vote for and here's who you can't?
The people with the constitutional power, the duty to do exactly that.
If history is going to reflect
holy
fuck,
on
they believe and they say it is, then what are they worried about? Then why do they have to do that? Because the only way Donald Trump can ever be president...
Who are we to exercise our constitutional authority?
The people. And so I just don't, again, it's a tremendous arrogance on their part to decide we're going to disqualify you from office. This is a vengeance play. That's all this is. This is all about vengeance and retribution because that's what the radical left is demanding of their party leaders. And I would imagine it's also an opportunity.
This is such dangerous rhetoric.
During this impeachment trial and help them raise some money off that as well.
And you can get away with this because there is a capitalist structure that allows this media fucking bullshit to thrive. Marco's on Fox News, but over on the Newsmax, we got Alan Dershowitz talking about impeachment.
If in the event the former President Trump is convicted and is disqualified, this will raise questions about the legitimacy of the 2024 election.
Yeah.
Okay. People will not have an election where a group of Democratic senators with a few Republicans have denied the American public the right to vote for a candidate who they may want to see.
Also, the Senate is split 50-50. The 50 Democrats in the Senate represent 41.5 more people than the 50 Republicans in the Senate. So add in that handful of Republicans who have a spine. And they are representing the vast majority of America.
He is president of the United States. So this has impacts beyond 2021 to 2024.
Yes.
And beyond that, we're going to see it establish a precedent, a bad precedent, that when presidents leave office...
She looks like her mind's
We're going to
blown.
go after President Carter now, President Obama, President Clinton, President Bush. Or are we going to use this impeachment to prevent...
I don't know that it needs to go, but it needs to be reformed.
No, it's such a terrible precedent.
But you are, I mean, it was meant to be a roadblock to progress. And it has outlived a lot of its usefulness. But I think there's still a purpose. I don't know if you've heard me say this on the stream. I personally, we leave the Senate in place. It needs some reforms. Get rid of the filibuster. Get rid of some of the archaic rules. I think we should abolish the House of Representatives. We should all be able to log into a program with our social security numbers. We do the voting. We're the House of Representatives. Oh, there is a really good, I believe it's a Vox piece about the filibuster and its history on YouTube. I want to say it's Vox. And that definitely sounds like something like Vox would do. And it is fascinating how it came about. Now this is a video, I guess it was put together by act.tv, but it illustrates perfectly. These are all the senators: Lindsey Graham, Rand Paul. I don't know if Marco Rubio is featured in this. He probably is. Telling you the truth about Donald Trump. Because that's one of the things that I can't get over. We all knew what was going to happen. We called it years ago. Well, the Republicans told the truth back in 2016.
I want to
2015.
Talk to Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy.
They all knew who he was.
Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of doing. The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen.
But what fucking
concern is that
sycophants that they are.
And really treat the country as sort of his little bully fiefdom.
Donald Trump is everything I taught my children not to do in kindergarten.
There was Marco.
He's been exploiting working Americans for 40 years.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
He says he's for the little guy, but he's actually built a lot
Kellyanne knew.
of backs of the little guy.
You know, Donald Trump the other day said that, it, quote, if he tells
Mike
the soldier
Pompeo
to commit a
knew.
war crime, the soldier will just go do it.
And I don't think Donald Trump has even read the Constitution.
Oh, we'll get to Kellyanne.
A toxic mix of demagoguery,
Rick Perry knew.
and nonsense.
Still took a job in the administration.
I just cannot support Donald Trump.
Shameless losers, all of you.
A delusional narcissist and an orange-faced windbag.
Donald Trump is a con artist.
He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
I think he's a kook.
I wish these motherfuckers would listen to themselves and take their own advice. And what are we supposed to believe when we know this video exists?
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
That's what they are. But apparently they're all scared of a little thing called the MAGA Patriot Party. We went over the Patriot Party grift. It looks like it's igniting. Now through an FEC filing.
Used by former President Trump to build his campaign. But News
It
Nation
looks like we have a MAGA Patriot Party now.
Marky Martin is live in Dallas tonight with the story. Marky.
Yeah, Nicole, the MAGA Patriot.
Exactly. And you know what I'm told all the time? I'm told that the Republican Party is a party of personal responsibility.
10 a.m. today.
I say bullshit.
The work was submitted.